Seeing how it is Pride Month. Seeing how it is Pride Month. Seeing how it is Pride Month.
Are you sure about that?
I feel that it's important for me to talk about one of the best movies to watch for this time. And that movie is The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. And I would classify this movie as being a cinematic experience that most movies today fail to emulate. Now you may be saying that I'm a madman for saying such heresy, but remember, Jesus was once labeled as being a heretic by his non-believers. Am I comparing myself to being Jesus? Possibly, but is my opinion more valid than yours? You're damn fucking right it is. Now listen to all you naysayers as I tell you the wonderful tale of the beautiful father-son relationship of the Johnson family. But first, let me give you some context about this short film. So this movie was directed by and written by an Ari Aster as his thesis film for grad school. A bit of a no-name director, but let's see what works he has under his belt. He has Bao, which is French, never seen it. Munchkinson, never seen, basically, haven't even heard of that one. The Turtle's Head, nope, sounds like a short story. Cest La Vie, more French. And holy shit, he directed Hereditary. What? That movie was great, yet he made this. I guess that explains why this movie is so amazing. And apparently it was screened at multiple film festivals, and it was even premiered at one of them before being leaked and going viral online, probably because of how good it was. So the movie opens on the son, who I'll be referring to as Isaiah, starting now, needing some dough underneath his sheets, which I adds in that relatable factor to the male audience, because let's be honest, we have all been in that situation where we just pretend we're a baker in the kitchen just working our gosh darn hardest, making the freshest and delicious bread we can, which follows up with Isaiah's dad, who I'll be referring to as Sydney, walking in on him mid-baking session. This creates a bit of an awkward moment between the two, but it's later broken when Sydney tells him what he was doing was perfectly natural to do.
What you were just doing, which I had no right to interrupt without knocking, and I'm sorry. But what you were doing was completely natural and normal and to be expected. And I just wanted to come in, not to make it weird, but just to make sure you weren't feeling strange. There's nothing to feel strange about. It's something that everybody does. And everyone's entitled to their...
Do you do it?
Well, everybody does.
So you do it then?
I mean, it's common, yeah. It's something that's natural to do for all people. And all people deserve to have their boundaries respected. And that's where I crossed the line. So, I'm sorry if this is weird, but I just wanted to make sure you weren't feeling ugly and like this was ugly. And hide it under the rug and let it become something taboo between us. You know what taboo is?
Yes.
Well, now it won't be. Because we talked about it. And it's out in the open.
Okay.
I am sorry if this is weird.
It's not.
Oh, good. It shouldn't be. Well, I'll leave you to it then.
Remember kids, or boys, baking bread is perfectly natural and there's nothing wrong about that, so don't let anyone ever say it's not. However, little did Sydney know that the bread Isaiah was making was for him. Fuck. This bread analogy is starting to not make any sense, but you get the idea, people. Sydney to Isaiah is equivalent to Bella Delphine to young boys nowadays. Fap material. There's a clear difference between how us boys like to treat her in our late night pastimes than how Isaiah does with his father. We use her as a Hey, Urban Dictionary, can you help me out for a second?
A receptacle for you and the rest of your town to put your ejected semen in.
Squeeze the milk out, just like that. And you're just going to continue to do that. You don't want to tug on it or pull on it. You just want to be firm but gentle. So we're going to continue to do this until it's completely milked out. And that's it.
while Isaiah's is a pure act of admiration of his father. Look at this man. He's a perfect specimen, chiseled like a natural fine-toothed comb. Some might even call him a Chad. Who wouldn't be proud to be his son? What's wrong with him devoting his first baking session to his father? Besides, if daughters are allowed to pledge their virginity to their fathers, then why isn't this allowed to be done? Purity balls are still a thing in America, and yes, it's a thing, and telling me that boys aren't allowed to do something like this, while that exists, is like not allowing the boys to join the Girl Scouts, which is just pure anti-feminism, and that's not allowed in here, not on this woman-respecting channel.
Any of y'all niggas respect women?
こんな心とかわかんなそうな
But back to the main story at hand. After their talk comes a really touching father-son moment, in which both of them say, "I love you."
Dad, I love you.
I love you back.
Now, given Isaiah's history of bread making, you might think this was a romantic "I love you" and not a platonic one, but you're actually wrong. This is clearly a no homo "I love you." Just look at the clip again, but this time with the improved audio.
Dad, I love you.
No homo.
I love you back.
No homo.
See that? Perfectly normal. Now, fast forward 14 years. It's Isaiah's big day, marrying the woman of his life. It's a beautiful day outside. Family and friends have gathered to congratulate him on getting married, and it's a perfect time for taking photos and some.
Good game, slap ass, man. Hey, good game. Get slap ass. Yeah, Dad. Yes, man. Good game, slap ass.
Or in his case, some grab ass.
Okay, looking good. And now, if I could just get a big smile from the two happy families.
Family.
Sorry.
Today we're one happy family.
Got a little crowded all of a sudden.
That's the way I like it.
You seeing my cufflinks?
Yeah, we can see those, no problem.
You think? Because I could turn more toward the camera.
Thanks for everything, Bob.
Do we all say cheese?
You can say cheese, you can say taco, you can say whatever you'd like, but if you could just give me the teeniest, weeniest, little...
Now you may be thinking that that's a bit strange, but you're wrong. Hold on, let me explain. This is nothing more than basic locker room courtesy. The fact that Isaiah is able to do this outside the locker room just shows that he and his father have a bond that transcends the everyday norm. I wish me and my father were this close. But anyways, on to the next point. We're given a perspective of the mother at the wedding reception. But this video isn't about the beautiful relationship between a mother and son, so who cares? But she does stumble across something big, something interesting, something that could expose the true relationship between Isaiah and Sydney. But I am unable to comprehend this scene, so I'll just add this instead.
If you would like to marry me.
However, I can tell that it is horrific, disturbing, and just awfully deceptive. Now after this scene, the mother keeps quiet about the incident because she has no place in this bromance, which is correct, which makes perfect sense, and this is followed up in a later scene where Isaiah and his wife have dinner with his parents.
Here we go. It's hot.
You want one of these?
I'm okay.
They're Belgian.
I know. Thank you. I'm okay.
You know these aren't for me, Dad. I got them for you.
I'll have one.
Well, they're Dad's, so you're gonna have to ask him first.
Now, being a happily married man, you would expect Isaiah to no longer spend as much time with his father because he has a family of his own. But even that barrier is unable to stop Isaiah from getting to spend time with Sydney. In fact, he's always finding ways to make room in his schedule to help Sydney out. This is one example that happens in the movie.
Oh my god, you guys were gonna leave without hugging me.
We would have made it too.
Good night. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. New Year. Happy New Year.
You know, I think I'm just gonna help and stay here.
You're gonna what?
Just to help clean. I mean, this is such a mess we're leaving him with. It's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna come home a little bit later, okay? That's all.
One of the many things I love about this movie is that Ari Aster was not afraid of showing actual conflict between Sydney and Isaiah. And you can see this when Isaiah becomes angry with Sydney when he finds out he's been writing about their friendship without getting his opinion on the subject.
Don't look so scared. I tell you, Dad, from a poet, I expect more eloquence.
I'm sorry.
What for? For nothing?
For what I wrote.
What you wrote? You mean your little autobiography? All 300 pages of it? I love you, Dad, but this makes it hard. And I'm burning this. And if I see another copy lying around, it's gonna be more than a slap on the wrist. I promise you.
By doing this, he shows that with every strong bond comes cracks within it, showing that Sydney and Isaiah aren't perfect beings without any imperfections, but in fact are two people who come together to address the weaker flaws that the other has. Now, we cut to New Year's Day in the Johnson household. The family is holding a New Year's party, and the relationship between Sydney and Isaiah is still a bit damaged at this point in the movie. It has even reached a point in which Isaiah kisses his wife in front of Sydney in like an act of defiance. Now I know what you're thinking, that's pretty weird. Remember folks, Isaiah feels betrayed by his father, so he's getting back at him by bragging about his young and beautiful wife to Sydney. After the party, Isaiah decides that it's best for him to patch out things with Sydney before going home. However, he decides that it was best for him to bring this up while Sydney was in the bath. And this leads to the best scene in the entire film. It's also the scene where you can see Aster trying to experiment with horror elements that you can see in Hereditary.
He'll do the legwork to make it awful. Through the power of his attitude, he'll prevent every potentially good thing on his path from reaching its potential. And if good things do happen, well, he'll be looking in the other direction. Because what he's done is he's committed himself to the prison of negativity. Now, on the other side of this coin, a person who wakes up and greets the day with enthusiasm and positivity will see the good things on his path. Because through the power of
Dad? How do I feel about locked doors?
This scene is later followed up by the mother choosing to ignore the screams of happiness that Sydney lets out after reuniting with Isaiah.
How long was he lying there? Long enough to lose a few liters.
Damn it, I need his BP now.
BP is 85 over 40.
Okay, gonna need 70 more milligrams, stat.
Blood pressure, give it to me. Pulse is 93. Heart rate is... Yes? Christ, it's up.
I said 70 milligrams, people. Do I have to get on my hands and knees here?
I've only got 2 hands, doctor!
So use them. This poor bastard's gonna die on the splat. We don't work miracles and fast.
The right ventricle's dilated.
Suction! Quick!
Jesus, he needs oxygen!
We're not oxygenating, Maggie!
Resume recompression! Charge to 15!
I mean, just look at her face. She's clearly happy that the two most important men in her life are working towards resolving their issues. As much as I would love to continue to go over this movie, I don't want to spoil the rest for anyone who plans on watching it after seeing this video. But the scenes afterwards are just pure gold. I guarantee you, seeing the bromance between Sydney and Isaiah is just a wonderful comedy that is often misunderstood. Just check it out, it's literally 30 minutes long. What else you gotta do with your life? Man, this video took way too much time to edit. More time than it really should have, if I'm being honest. But hey, this is just the first attempt of many, so buckle up, buckaroos. But I've been Smooth Chocolate and I've been your host for today, delivering the truth that isn't too hard to swallow or too chunky to go down, but just smooth. And on that note, if you want to support my channel, leave a like, share the video, or leave a comment. I can promise you that I'll read every single one of them, even the hateful ones. I got nothing better to do anyway. Or better yet, subscribe and turn on notifications, because subscribing doesn't mean jack shit anymore. Surprise, surprise. Or follow me on Twitter. I currently have no friends, so please follow me.